Hello, darlings. Welcome to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 444. That's a good luck, right?
That's very
That
good.
number is
All
good luck.
fours. All
All
fours.
fours, yeah. I love it. I love it. All fours. So we're on all fours right now, everybody. And I am your host, Kodi Maurice Doggette. I'm filling in for Stevie. Uh-oh, that is my alarm. He is in Puerto Vallarta, probably in somebody's bathhouse. JK, JK. He is living his best life under the sun in Puerto Vallarta. But I have a special guest host this week. Again, for this week, I love him. He's amazing. He looks like Linda Evangelista. The beautiful Teddy Alexis.
Hey,
Applause,
hey,
applause,
hey.
applause. Hey, boo, how are you?
I'm back. I'm back by popular demand.
Yes, queen. Yes.
And the only one demanding is me.
No, I demanded it too. I loved our time
two
together.
I had an avalanche of DMs after I
An
did the
avalanche.
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me all about them, honey.
Yeah, it was one person, but
Okay. Hey, as long as he is avalanching, I'm here for it. Okay.
Do you mind if I share the message?
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so saying hi to David. Hey, David. He said, "I just heard you on TAGSPodcast. You sound like a great guy, and I love your stories." And I'm just putting tone on this because it was an Instagram message. But thank you, David.
No, it's very girl 6. I'm here for it. Go ahead.
So thank you, David, for listening. And here's one more for you, baby. One for the road. That's how we're starting. That's how we're starting today.
Okay, I love it. I'm in love with it. You should be a sex phone operator. You have a lovely voice.
I miss my time, I guess. Is that a thing still?
Oh, you're right. I was gonna say you're never too old to be a sex
No,
phone
it's not an
operator.
age thing. It's just a technology. Let's not date ourselves.
Let's not date ourselves.
Keep that rotary phone away.
Off the hook, baby. All right. So we have some other listener responses that I would like to read.
Oh,
this one is from Pedro Diaz. Hello, Pedro. And he says, hello, darling. He stole my line, girl. He says, LOL, I was just listening to y'all talking about polyamory, and to the hell no, as much fantasy as I have had sometimes about having a trio. The reality, like Kodi said, the thought of my husband having sex with the other person at home while I'm working, oh hell no. All the letters are in oh hell no. He typed it out. It's the longest word in history, I believe. So he says, yeah, y'all have fun and take care of each other while I'm working. Oh no, honey. And usually the third person is going to favor one or the other, and that's the nature of the beast. And we do not want to take this risk. And I totally agree. He goes on to say, I think it does not matter how strong the relationship. Relationships are not easy, like we said, and they have been married 8 years now, and they have been together for 15. He says that on many occasions they've had crises, but when you care and love someone so much, that helps a lot. He remembers all of his good days of being a puta como una gallina.
Oh, puta como una gallina.
Oh, gallina. Sorry. Oh my gosh, my Spanish is
slut
horrible.
Like a hen. Slut like a hen. That's a saying in Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, he's Venezuelan, and he says that was his whore phase. So he has so many memories of that, but he wouldn't go back to it. So yeah, thank you so much for writing in, Pedro. What do you think about polyamory, Teddy? Because you weren't on that episode.
Yeah. So I think what Pedro is saying is actually not what polyamory is, because a lot of people come to polyamory with the concept of having a couple and then having that third person as an add-on, but that's not by
Hmm.
definition what polyamory is.
Oh,
Uh,
inform the girl.
Girl, that's what I'm here for. Um, it's it's actually a relationship that has it's multi-pronged, right? So
Yeah.
we're looking at it. It's with three people. It's a triangle, which is not two people and an additional person. So it's more advanced than that. So I always say that people that
Wait,
want to get into a polyamory and they're not loyal. Oh, they cannot hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Who said they can't hear you? Uh-oh.
Calidad said they can hear me.
Uh-oh. I can hear you
Uh-oh.
just fine.
Shall we keep
Do
going?
do you want to go out and come back in and then oh, he says he
Oh,
hears you now. Okay, fabulous.
okay.
Thank goodness.
I was
Because
I was being smart as hell on mute apparently.
you were just dropping the knowledge, and I need the people to hear this knowledge. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Come
yeah.
back. What were you
Well,
saying now?
so so when we talk about polyamory, a lot of people come at it as, oh, because I cannot be loyal to my one partner, then
Yes.
we must back to polyamory. But it's actually the opposite. The
Yeah.
people that can be loyal to one person are the people that actually can explore polyamory because they understand what are the principles of a relationship. So if you don't
Mm.
understand the principles of a relationship with two people, how are you going to understand when it's you're adding more variables to the equation? It's like not understanding algebra and wanting to take calculus. No,
Oh,
baby, go back to your algebra basics.
oh, okay. You better get
Okay.
into the math analogy. Thank you so much for that. But
What do
yeah,
you think?
I do agree with you. I think from his statement, I do believe that he is saying that even if it were a three-pronged relationship, like they were each in a relationship with one another in this three-person relationship, that
Hmm.
he wouldn't be able to endure the the um the jealousy that came with his partner having another partner. So
Right.
I do see what he's saying because, and I definitely agree with him because if we had a third here, and
Hmm.
we'll get to who the third is,
Oh,
that Joe picked him, and and I
do you
said
think I'm
hell
not gonna
no.
go back to that before the hour is up? You're so wrong.
But I do think that if I went to work and I was in a relationship with two other guys, and
Hmm.
I would still probably get jealous. So, like you said, the fundamentals would have to be there, but I
Hmm.
think that you have to be a particular type of person in order to apply those fundamentals to
Exactly.
that specific type of relationship. So I see what
Exactly.
you're saying, and I just merged both of those together. So
Yeah.
lovely,
I love that
lovely.
because just remember, if you think that because the two people are getting together are cheating on you, then there's no the principles of polyamory are not being applied.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily cheating, but I feel like I would still be jealous of my two partners that I'm supposed to be in uh, um, a close relationship with these three people. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
If
which means that
if
you're not applying the
me,
principles.
well, I could not say that I wouldn't be if you were in a relationship with me and Joe, okay?
Oh,
And
this took a turn.
move to New York City, honey. Move to
the
New York
the
City.
Shyamalan twist came early. Okay.
I think that I would be jealous if you and Joe had some alone time as opposed
Mm,
to I'm just too selfish, I feel
right.
like. And I feel like at least in a romantic relationship. I feel like I would want to be the center of attention all the time. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
that
But I
makes
know
sense.
myself, and I know what I would be capable of and what I would not be capable of.
So, question. So, if
Yes.
when Joe is by himself in the apartment, do you get
He's
jealous from
sitting
the
alone.
walls? Do you get
Yeah.
jealous? You're
From that
jealous?
very from the air,
Stop.
honey.
I can't
I
breathe.
get
Just saying.
from the mosquitoes, honey. I get jealous. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. But yeah, I see what you're saying, and I do think that it's an interesting dichotomy, and that the people that can do it are are wonderful people, but I'm just not capable of it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Shyamalan twist.
so the next listener responses
Mm-hmm.
comes from Sinfully Good.
Ooh.
And he says, I think when it comes to swiping, this is in relation to swiping left and swiping right. It's a discussion that we had, I think, last episode. Steve V is smacking left. Uh, oh, swiping left or swiping right, or as Stevie put it, smacking left, we should not be too quick to judge, but we should also take into account how the things that people present in their photos will impact our lives. Like Sinfully, for example, he has never had an alcoholic drink, yet he he says he's an alcohol virgin, and then he goes on to say that the introvert in him isn't really going out every weekend, hanging out in bars and dealing with that type of things that come with being in that environment. So if he were to see someone that had a bunch of pictures of them out in bars drinking, etc., 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 he would come to the conclusion that this is something that they enjoy, which would lead to them sinfully swiping left.
Mm-hmm.
He also goes on to say that this doesn't mean that he thinks in any way that those activities are in some way wrong. It just means that that person probably won't be compatible with them in the future, and to entertain it could lead to future issues, or in their hypothetical relationship. He's already planned out a whole relationship in his head.
Girl.
He goes on to say that the same thing could be said about such things as religion, politics, and sometimes it's great to explore and try out new things, but at the same time, you have to know yourself and know what your boundaries are. And Teddy, what do you think about that?
It's interesting. I was just listening to Rebel Wilson. She was doing
Mm-hmm.
an interview in, I think she was in the Graham Norton show this week.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about dating. And actually, she was in the Daily Show. And she was talking about dating and how she was mostly straight, but because she was giving herself she was dedicating herself to dating. And basically, she was going on dates with all these men, and then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like something out of my comfort zone for like a wild card, which was
Mm-hmm.
a woman. And
Yeah,
then now she's married to a woman. So I think you can
she is.
approach dating that way. As a non-practicer of dating, I say
What do you practice?
I practice not dating. I'm okay otherwise, if you know what I mean. But going
I
back
want
to
to
the
dig deeper,
topic,
but okay, but going back to the topic, you're right.
d- deeper we shall. So the thing is that I understand if you have hard no's on certain things, if they're political, maybe religion. Like obviously, if you're Jewish, you're not gonna go out with an anti-Semitic person. That would make sense. But if you're maybe a homebody, but you're like, you know what, I want to kind of like go out a little bit, then you might want to go out with somebody that has experience in going out, so you can have a good time. And not go
Yeah.
to somebody that is like gonna be awkward at the club and doesn't know their way. Like, so those things can be considered. But I understand, like, there's some stuff that I see that I'm like, back in the day when I was in the Tinders,
Mm-hmm.
also hard left. Like, there's certain pictures that you're just like, okay, if you're
What
there,
were they?
well, like the guy with like the fish, like he just like caught something. I'm like, I don't know
Oh,
about that. I'm not
oh
going
my
fishing with
God.
you. Those
You
times
don't
are
want to know what
over.
I was thinking. I was like, a
Oh,
woman? A woman? You were thinking
no, I do not call women fish.
I was like,
I
that's so
do
horrible,
not. I do not.
Teddy.
How dare you even think that?
I don't either. I'm on your team as far as that word. We should not be. That's why I was surprised when you said it. I was like, oh my God. Oh
This is
my
very high
goodness.
intensity, the show today.
I know.
God.
Already we're starting out with a bang, boo. But I agree with you. I think that if you have some hard nose and you see them in the pictures, swipe it on left. And if you're willing to explore, then swipe right and see where it takes you. So I love that. Thanks for
Mhm.
playing, Teddy. Thank you so much for responding to these listener responses with me. And let's move on to our very first topic. It
Okay.
is award season. And you know,
Mm,
Angela Bassett did the thing, honey.
she did. Yes, she did. Do
Before
not
we
come
give
for
it,
our Rihanna because I am going to end this
wait.
podcast right now.
I got you. I got you. Hold on. Before we get started, all right. What are your thoughts on Ariana DeBose and her viral songs and Auntie Angela and doing the thing, honey?
To be honest, I saw the clip because what they're showing is just the little bridge that she did, and that was like a
Mm-hmm.
little awkward because the I watch as a
A little.
fanatic of a fanatic of the award shows. I always watch the BAFTAs, and the BAFTAs are usually really awkward. Like they're really dry, and the cutoff to people are super awkward all the time. So I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised that they opened them with her, who is like so Latina, so black at the same time, so
Yeah.
musical
I love her.
theater, and so queer. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's kind of like the opposite to the BAFTAs, but okay. The whole song was fun. The little bridge had like a little bit of awkward parts, but I
A
thought it
little
was
bit.
fun.
Okay. All right. So my opinion on the
Did you
whole
watch
thing
the whole
is
thing or just the
I did
bridge?
watch the whole thing.
Okay.
I've played
Hmm.
this so many times. My girlfriend was over last night and she hadn't seen it. She was quoting Angela Bassett did the thing and didn't
Hmm.
even know where it was coming from. She's like asking me,
Hmm.
Kodi, where is this even from? So I had to show her the whole thing. And I think that she should have stopped after that first initial part because she was out of breath.
Sisters.
Yeah,
Oh, the
after
bridge
sisters
you're
are
talking
doing it
about?
for she should after sisters are doing it for herself, for
Uh huh.
themselves, she should have stopped. And she should have said, "Thank you all so much," and moved on to something else and started talking and giving herself a break. Because the reason that it was so awkward was because she was out of breath and
Hmm.
the rap was a little bit cringy. I have to not a
Well,
little
it
bit. It
was
was a
written by
lot
a white
cringy.
guy, so it was not gonna be
I thought
popping.
I thought that she wrote it too.
No, it is. There's like a musical theater guy that wrote it. Everybody wants to be Lin Manuel now. I'm like, no, you need to have a little bit of street cred to do that. Yeah.
They should have had Nas write it.
You know what it was, I think, is that none of the winners, like none of the like the Asian people that we thought that are winning everything won, and I think they wanted to make that a little better by having her open, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, she
That's my
did.
hot take.
She she's an amazing performer. And moving on to the SAG Awards,
Sure.
LGBTQ stories have won big this past weekend at the SAG Awards. Everything All at Once came out on top, winning all
Hmm.
four of their awards that they were nominated for, while other LGBTQ inclusive films and movies were also honored. No individual awards were presented to members of the LGBTQ plus community, but Jennifer Coolidge continued her winning streak. And she is an LGBTQ ally and fucking icon, if you ask me.
Hmm.
And she won for The White Lotus. And White
Ariana
Lotus,
DeBose presented her to it.
fabulous for
Hmm.
her.
Hmm. Your girl.
It also White Lotus also won for outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series. And Queer Inclusive Abbott Elementary took home the trophy for outstanding ensemble in a comedy series. What are your thoughts on LGBTQ plus stories having such a huge impact this year?
Um, you know, let's call it what it is. LGBTQ light stories. Like but that's important because we
Oh,
want to
ooh,
they're not specifically LGBT, but they're interwoven with
yes,
other stories, which is what we want, right? We want to
yeah,
make sure that we're included and not just in the queer stuff, you know?
yeah.
So
Relegated to the sidelines.
yeah. And like like the biggest movie this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Hmm.
And and that movie has a main character that is a lesbian, and you
She
can
is a she's a lesbian in real life. She doesn't just play a lesbian. The daughter, you mean, right? Or do you
oh, I
mean
don't know. I don't know if she's a lesbian in real life, but I know the character is
or do you mean Michelle
Stephanie
Yeoh?
Shu. No,
Oh,
I'm talking
Stephanie
about
Shu.
Stephanie Shu,
Okay.
the
All right.
daughter. The
She
daughter is in
is.
a lesbian relationship.
Oh.
And she's one of the main characters, one of the main four, which is Jamie Lee and Michelle Yeoh, Kihui, and Stephanie. Which they all won Best Ensemble by a movie, by the way. That's the biggest
Yep.
award of the night.
Hmm.
Um, so that was cool. I think Jamie Lee Curtis was a little out of control. Did you see her like just like laying one on Michelle Yeoh when she won? I'm just like, women, we know you're an ally, but you don't have to try that hard. Like,
I loved it. I
I,
think it's so great.
okay.
I love a little lady love. It's Women History Month after all.
Well,
Now,
not when
today,
she
starting
won.
today. Well, still, I am here for it. I love a little lesbian love, and all my ladies, where my girls at? How about that? I think that it's so great that our stories are being
Yeah.
included in mainstream media right now, and that we're winning so much awards by having our stories told out there in the world. So I think that this is so great. Uh, Also in awards news, over at the NAACP Image Awards,
Hmm.
Nico Anand won for Outstanding Actor in a Drama Series. It was presented to him by Sheryl Lee Ralph and Janelle James. And I wanted to highlight this because in the Black community,
Hmm.
gay, from my perspective, is such a taboo word. And I thought it was so progressive and just something that I would have not expected. So kudos to them for recognizing greatness. And to Nico for winning that award because Uncle Clifford is my bitch.
Hmm.
Do you watch P Valley,
I
babe?
don't watch P Valley, but now I want to.
It's
Um,
so good.
huge of the NAACP awards, and they
Hmm.
also were honoring Gabrielle Union and her husband on trans allyship.
Oh,
Let's do that
yes.
segue right now, just
Okay, you
because.
better get into it. Thank you.
Yeah, because if we are advocating, it's very important to also advocate within our own communities, and that's where the work is for us because we can always talk about like the general public and like America as a country or the world, but the groundwork is what is in our vicinity, so our own communities. And
Hmm.
just having such a huge organization of civil rights aligning themselves with the LGBT community in that way, specifically for trans people, because if we talked about Black Lives Matter, there's a lot of
Hmm.
Black trans people that have been murdered in the
That's
same
right.
time, but we don't know their names because
Yes.
they don't they the media doesn't report on them.
Acknowledge them. Yes.
So, if you think about every name that you know, George Floyd, cisgender straight man, all of them are cisgender straight people. So it's very huge and very important for us to do. And Gabrielle Union, she is all of us. Like she did the thing.
Yeah.
Her freaking.
You gonna make me
Uh,
get up.
did you see her speech?
Oh, it
And
was amazing.
that speech, if you
It was so
notice,
powerful.
yeah, she was reading it from the teleprompter. That means that the NAACP vetted it. I want to see the one that she wrote first, because that one would have been like lit too, because that she was
She
calling.
let them have it.
Mhm.
She let them have it. And I think that that speech was so powerful. And I applaud Dwayne Wade for coming out and supporting his daughter. Because he has to be so, and it's sad for me to say this because I do think that any parent should always support their children. But in this community and in this time when trans issues are so, uh, uh, it's just, they're just not, so many people are against trans people at this time. So he's so brave and so wonderful for coming out and supporting the beautiful Zaya. So I
Mhm.
think that that's so great. I did recognize that there was some hateration going on in the audience and all over social media
I saw that
because
too.
there were some twisted up faces in the audience. I read some negative comments. And to them, I have to say, open up your heart and your mind. And if you cannot do that, mind your own fucking business. The one that pays you, boo. Okay?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, and
right.
it's a huge visual cue to see that huge straight man that is a popular
Basketball player.
figure, yeah,
Yeah.
in the sports to come out that way. That's really
Oh,
important.
yes. Oh,
So,
yes.
and yeah,
He's
that
going to change a lot of hearts and minds by saying what he said. So I love it. All right. So moving on to our next topic, Click Boys. Click Boys is a 5-part series on Wow Presents Plus, and it follows
mhm.
LGBTQ content creators who make their income through the internet subscription service OnlyFans. Each episode will explore life on the other side of the camera as these click boys share their real life triumphs and struggles in the course of trying to make a living. Along the way, they will open up about queer and cultural identity, empowerment through sexual liberation, body positivity, and the business of sex work and sexual freedom. Each episode will feature a different clip boy, including Brock Banks, Lance Charger, Ty Mitchell, Noah Way, and Matthew Camp. Teddy, will you be watching, and what are your thoughts on Click Boys?
I will not be watching because I
What?
don't know what WoW is.
Well, Presents
Another
Plus.
streaming we have to pay for. These streamers are out of control. It's gonna be another $12.99. Girl, get out of here.
Wow,
However, I
wow, it's
saw the
only $4.99.
trailer. Is it
I
4.99?
subscribe. Yeah.
Oh, you mind to share your username and password? I'll give you my Netflix.
Netflix is now no longer doing password sharing. My mama
Oh,
can't even get my
god damn it!
Netflix.
We need to trade. We need to trade. Okay. These men, they're all men.
Yes.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
The trailer looks like because there's a lot of B-roll. So when they're talking, they show something else that what B-roll means.
Yeah.
The B-roll is steamy, y'all. Like
Yes.
they're just showing them like stretching, wink wink, caressing.
Or getting stretched. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
So
they don't show that.
but they have the stories look like they're really varied. It's a diverse group of
Mhm.
men. They're all kind of like around the same sizes though, but there's there's femme, there's masculine, there's a little bit for everybody. So I think it will
Oh
be
yeah.
for a fun one. But yeah, DM me if you have WoW, and we can talk. We can talk. Will you
Slide
be
into
watching?
Teddy's DMs. Oh, I'm gonna be watching my Click Boys.
Are
Okay.
you featured on this
You know what? I'm not yet, but for season
second
2, I
season?
think. Yeah. I've already submitted my application. All
I
right.
feel like this is what the real friends of WeHo
Oh
should
my
have
God,
been.
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this is the antithesis to Real Friends that We Hold because it really humanizes their stories
Hmm.
and it just adds a little bit of salaciousness into it.
Yeah.
I think RuPaul is so good at that. And with WeHo, I feel like it was all drama and just a little bit of substance mixed in. And
Hmm.
I don't think that that is a good mixture or a good recipe for a good show. I think that what they're doing is really it's gonna catch on. So I really hope that this does well. I will be watching. I think you should subscribe to Wow Presents Plus, but if you don't, girl, I got a password for you. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
If you don't get them in your DMs, you might get them in your DMs, girl. You might luck out.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. All
I
right.
know there's this podcast called Juicy Scoop that they were talking about the real friends of WeHo because
Uh
they
huh.
what they do is the Real Housewife, and they
Yes.
trashed it
Oh
so
my God.
hard. I,
What did they say?
they were saying that that's what you get when you try to copy a franchise that is
Yeah.
about women, and they were talking about from that lens. So I thought that was really interesting, and And then they pretty much ended it kind of like we did when they were like, bye, we Hawaii, bye. Yeah,
I mean, it
which
is
is
what it
sad.
is. Yeah. All right, moving on. So, Tennessee lawmakers have
Mm.
passed the country's first ban on drag performances this past Thursday, part of an onslaught of bills restricting LGBTQ rights across the United States that could have much further reaching consequences. Led by the bill sponsor, Representative Chris Todd, the Tennessee law bans male or female impersonators who provide entertainment that appeals to prurient interests. What the hell does that mean? In public or anywhere a child is present. And is so deliberately vague, it would essentially apply to trans people, drag performers in a pride parade, or anyone else dressed in a manner not conforming to Tennessee's Republican standards. Teddy, what do you think about this bill that just got passed in Tennessee? That hard breathing, girl.
It's heartbreaking. And,
Yeah.
I actually worked reading to kids one summer, and that shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's not, you think it's just reading a book. If you don't do it the right way, the kids
Go
disengage. So
crazy.
just the fact that these people are in drag and actually getting these kids engaged, it's incredible. So let's
Wow.
just start there.
Mhm.
And when they start banning LGBT people from public spaces, then
Holding
we know
hands,
where we're going.
kissing. Yeah. It's
We
a
know
it's
where,
a
and it's scary, and it should
it's a slippery slope.
scare
Yeah.
us.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I never thought that I would see the day that something like this would come to pass in the United States. It's so counterintuitive to me that these people would actually want to ban people living in their truth and to quote unquote protect their children, but they can abide by things that are actually hurting their children, like their own guns and
Oh,
actual fucking pedophiles in their churches, in their community. I just read a story about a youth pastor pleading guilty to 13 sex crimes involving
mm.
children in Arkansas. And to me, that sounds like they need to ban youth pastors before they ban drag queens.
You didn't come to play today, did you?
I mean, when it comes to my drag queens, I'm very, very defensive. You know,
Yeah.
just like a group of MMA fighters. You like that
Hey,
transition, girl?
hey, hey.
Who offered the MMA fighters offered to act as security for a drag brunch in West Virginia after a number of threats resulted in its cancellation.
Mm.
After being canceled via a Facebook post, Ohio Valley MMA owner Johnny Haught offered the support of he and some of his fighters to work the event if it gets rescheduled. Thoughts, Teddy? What do you think?
Community building. That's what
Yes.
they're doing, and it's great. And everybody that is in West Virginia in those events, make sure that your grinder is updated because
Uh-oh.
that's a good place for you. No, but
Okay.
seriousness, that's what we need to be doing. We just need to be creating more community, because that's how they get us. They separate us, right? Oh, it's okay for you to be gay, but not to be trans. And then you start advocating for gay people and not trans people. We separated. There's less of
Yeah.
us. You see? And the same thing with drag queens. Yeah. So now
Hmm.
the drag queens and the MMA people are together. That's a new community.
I
And
would
it
like to
gets
see it. That sounds like a porn to me. Okay.
I said it from the beginning. Get your grinders ready, and that's how you build
Well,
community too. Hooking
I
up.
believe. Well, I offer Teddy as tribute to the super hot Johnny because I know that he is hot because he's probably got a huge penis. So Teddy, you go to West Virginia and you suck this man's dick
Bitch, I'm
because
not yours to give as a tribute, but I do
Be-
volunteer.
I mean, I agree with you. I say too many times that we as people have to stand for what's right, and because the more that we stand up against these bigots and show them that we're not going to take this shit, the less emboldened they will become. So I agree with you 100%. Build that community. Teddy, you go suck that man's dick, and
I can with you. I can with
you. Oh, you love me. You love me. Speaking of dicks, another good segue. Wow, I am on fire today.
You are. This is a good one. I've been looking forward all week.
Straight Up Gay Porn has shared a chart of men with the largest erect penis. Says penises? Peni? How do you? Can I get a spell check, please? Well, is it peni or penises, baby?
It says global penis size. Penis.
Penises?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with penis. Oh, you know what? I can just say dicks. So keep in mind that this is a self-reported study, but the country with the largest dicks appears to be Ecuador. What do you think about
the
this
top
study?
10?
And where are you moving, Teddy? Where are you moving first?
Okay, before this is unrelated. I'm moving to Ecuador. And this in the
is your
next flight,
announcement.
the next flight that Los Angeles has. This is unrelated, but let's go back to the story.
Completely unrelated.
Let's go back to the story. Can we do the top 10 before we answer any questions?
Oh,
please?
yes, of course. My apologies. The top 10 for the largest peni.
For all the young people, this is like back in the radio, they used to do top 10s. Ecuador.
Number 1 is Ecuador. Number 2, Teddy, what's number 2?
Cameroon. You know what
Cameroon.
That is? Cameroon.
You know Cameroon? That's where Bibi Zahara Benet, the first winner of Drag Race, is from. Cameroon.
Bolivia
is number 3.
Okay. More Latin America.
All right.
Sudan.
Yes. Sudan, yes. It's an African country.
Haiti.
Yes. Let's
Caribbean, baby. Senegal.
An African country. I love it.
Gambia. Gambia is tied with Cuba, another Caribbean country. Just saying, it's a reference. The Netherlands. And last
what? Why is the Netherlands tied with Gambia, Cuba?
I was listening to this comedian the other day, and she's married to a Netherlands guy, and she says something called swaffling.
What?
And swaffling is the action to hit your dick on something. So she says that they're so hung. Michelle Buteau, did you hear that?
I love Michelle Buteau. Oh my God, I live for her. Okay.
That's literally like a whole section in her Netflix special.
Okay, I gotta watch that. I love her.
So I'm just saying that this Dutchman, they hung. And the last place on the top 10 is Zambia.
Yes. Okay. But before we get to where you're moving, Calidad put in the chat, because we are in front of a live audience right now. Them Africans be lying. And I said, not my African prince, honey. He's going to send me that money.
I've been talking to a guy from Nigeria. He says he's hung a lot.
He says he is hung. He's going to send me some money.
Yeah.
That's my new daddy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Where are you moving, darling?
I have a couple countries that I'm going to do a tour. This is a world tour. I think
all the ones we just mentioned.
I think it's gonna end in Ecuador though, because
all right.
Just culturally, we're just aligned. I speak Spanish, they speak Spanish. Yeah. And I think that's the end of our cultural alignment, but that's okay. What do you think about this list?
Do your Kegels. I think do your Kegels, because
should I do my Kegels or stop doing my Kegels? Seriously.
I think you should do your Kegels, because that's how you keep it nice and tight and right. All right?
Okay.
I think
but the average is interesting.
I don't know if I believe it. I don't think I believe it, though.
But the average is interesting. the average is of the biggest country, which is Ecuador, is
Hmm.
6.93, so 7 inches basically.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty big though.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Well, I should move there because mine is just a little bit over that. Not the eye roll. Not the eye roll. It's an audio podcast, girl.
Girl, please. Everybody
It's
that
about an
listens to the
inch more than
podcast
that.
knows that they keep talking about how huge they are. We've never
I
seen
didn't say
it.
huge.
Mm,
And you know what?
reference
You
to
know.
episode 4442. The 442. Just saying.
Oh my
So the
goodness.
next in the TAGPodcast.com, there will be a picture of Kodi being posted next week. So everybody look forward to that.
Okay. All right. All right. Actually, we will be posting this chart on
Yeah.
Tags Podcast. I will send this to Steve and have him do it because I don't know how that thing works. I told you I don't know how to work computers. All right. But moving on to DoxyPEP. Callie Dad says he's still waiting on my OnlyFans. And I think I'm gonna do a headless one. I think I'm gonna do a headless one, and you guys are not gonna know that it's me, but I'm gonna do it. Just look for my body. You guys can compare my Instagram pictures to all of the OnlyFans people. Just
Yeah.
the body of
Like a
my
Google
Instagram
image
pictures.
match
Yeah,
real
I mean,
fast.
just do a search. But because I don't think I want my mama to see me with my clothes off, basically. Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't know if you heard, we reported on a story a couple weeks ago. I think 2 weeks. I'm not
What
quite
happened?
sure. Where this gentleman, he started an OnlyFans, but it's a headless one, and he doesn't have any collaborators. So he's inspired me. I'm inspired by that man. But moving on.
Okay.
To DoxyPEP. DoxyPEP has hit the news following a sexual health conference last weekend. DoxyPEP is short for. Okay,
Oh,
all right, here we go.
good luck.
Disoxcline. Yep, that's the word. Post exposure. Now I can't even say exposure. Prophylaxis. I got that one though. All right, now it means taking the antibiotic disoxyline. Yep, after a sexual encounter to minimize the chances of acquiring an STI, such as gonorrhea or syphilis.
Right.
Doctors are exploring it as one way to tackle the soaring STI rates in the US. A study last year found that when used within 3 days of unprotected sex, that were the medicine, DoxyPEP, reduces STIs by more than 60% in gay men. The latest study took place in France and involved 500 gay men and bisexual men as well, including in the 500. It found DoxyPEP lowered the rates of gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis by 51% to 89% when taken within 72 hours of sex. Conversely, scientists have been warning for decades not to overprescribe antibiotics. They fear it might lead to the development of antibiotic superbugs, and this makes the use of DoxyPEP controversial. Many experts remain undecided on the issue. So I have an expert with me on
What? On STIs?
No, gay sex.
Sure.
Girl, on now. I wouldn't do
We
you
have
like
an
that.
expert on chlamydia here.
No, on gay sex. You're an expert on gay sex.
You know,
So,
I
what
was
do you think
excited
about
about
DoxyPEP? Are you taking it?
well, it's not available yet, but
I mean, when it comes out, babe.
that sounds like something intriguing though. I thought it was, when I read it, I thought it said DoxyPrep, but it's actually PEP. That means that you take it after the fact.
Yes.
So but the thing is, it's true. It's all about using too many antibiotics, and there's a lot of super strings out there. Like, have you heard of the
yeah.
super gonorrhea?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I like Superman, but I don't like super gonorrhea. Supergirl is fun, but not super chlamydia.
Not super syphilis, okay? Those
Super
are.
syphilis is scary as hell.
Oh hell yeah! I agree
So,
with you. I am not a doctor. Okay, finish your thought, baby.
so I am a doctor. I am not a medical doctor. So, girl, you in danger, girl. You just have to be careful out there in the streets.
Yes.
This will be a nice to have, but we'll just still have to be careful because there's PrEP out there, which is great.
Hmm.
Pretty much it prevents transmission, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's cool, and we'd love to be in a place where we just take one pill, and then we can just be free to, uh,
Like in the 70s.
yeah,
To free love.
free love. Let's keep
Yes, I
manifesting,
love
y'all.
it.
Let's keep manifesting because it's coming.
Some free love.
We need
Okay,
we
I'm
need
here
some
for it.
DoxyPEP. That's what we need.
Well, I am not a doctor, but I played one in the bedroom, and I agree with you 100% that
Mhm.
these, if you take overuse these, then the effects of the super strain of different types of STIs, that negative effect far outweighs the benefits of it. So I agree with you 100%. So I will not be taking DoxyPEP. I mean, I don't need to right now
Not
anyway.
that you need it, yeah. He's not having sex, so.
I am having sex with myself and my boyfriend and our third.
It's not me.
All right. So now we are moving on to our Reddits,
Woo! Are
darling.
you even ready for the Reddits?
I am not ready.
No.
We're gonna wing this part. I think it. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna reveal my secrets to
Oh,
our lovely studio
we'll be
audience
good. We'll be
here.
good.
Yes, we're gonna be fantastic. The first Reddit is instant mood killers during a sexual encounter. What are some things that a guy can do or say, or situations that can arise in a sexual encounter that will instantly kill the mood for you? Teddy, go you first.
Um, when they ask my name, that's a mood killer. Just kidding.
Oh, sure, honey. There's
um,
a lot of truth in jokes.
I think like if the people are in a hurry, like I think
Oh.
if you remember last time we were talking about making a special, right, when we're uh engaging in intercourse. So if
Hmm.
somebody's just like trying to write it really fast, then that's a mood killer for me. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
but what about you? What are your mood killers? I can read
I
some
think,
here from.
well, first, the
Mhm.
only mood killer for me, the
Uh-huh.
biggest one, is smelly breath.
Oh,
And like that's the only one that I can think of right off the top of my head. If you're boring, then that is a mood killer for me. But I don't know how far I
what's a
would get
boring
with
bottom? What's
somebody.
a boring bottom? What's that? Enlightened.
When they just lay there, when
Hmm.
they're not interested in kissing. Oh my gosh, that is a big one. If
Kissing.
you are not kissing me, then you got to go, because if you are
That's me
not sucking,
snapping.
if you are not sucking the dick, then you have got to go. I'm gonna nut all over your face. No, I'm not.
Oh, so there
And
must be
send you
kiss and
home.
must kiss and must oral for you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, some of the Reddit said not enough lube.
Oh, wow. Why would
Yeah,
somebody do that to somebody else?
some people like it dry.
Ooh, that sounds like a rug burn right there.
Yeah. This guy says math. Okay, yeah, drugs.
Oh, wow.
No
Oh,
consent. You have to
wow. I have a
consent to
story
that.
about that.
Do you wanna? No romance. Yeah, I need to be soon and present. Oh,
Oh.
what is your math story? Now I'm curious.
I was young. I have never done it. I'm not shaming anybody, but I've
Yeah.
never done it.
So this is like
But
the 70s.
Wow. I don't know if I would. Okay, I can't continue anymore.
Oh.
No, bitch. It wasn't
Okay.
when you were young. I said when I was young.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. All right. So yeah. So I met up with some guy, and he did it, and I still had sex with him. I don't think I would have sex with him now if I were
Mhm.
single, and I went up to meet with somebody, and they did that in front of me because I know how harmful it is to our community. But I did do it then, and it
Question,
was.
and you didn't know before you got there, I'm assuming,
Yeah, I
right?
didn't. I did not
Yeah.
know. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
he did it right in front of me. He didn't even go in the bathroom, and it was a little bit awkward.
Damn. So,
Yeah,
for Calidad, they said pillow princesses. What's a pillow princess? What's that?
it's. I think it's when you just lie there again, a pillow princess,
So, when you say you lie there, you're just like on your stomach. Is that what you're saying?
or on your belly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Okay. Yeah, that's
Wait,
not
or
fun.
on your back is what I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
So it
so
says a
you
pillow princess is a slang term that describes someone, mostly who prefers to receive sexual stimulant more than they like to give it. Yes.
okay. So they're not engaged basically
Yeah. And
with the
Callie that
situation.
says a pillow princess just lies there. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
Well, if
right.
you're in California and you're a pillow princess, don't look for Calidad. Or if you're in New York City, don't look for Kodi either.
Yeah, I mean, they can't because I have a whole boyfriend and you might have to
That's
fight
true.
him. Okay, so moving on. Bottoming and aggressive tops. This question is for the tops out there mainly. So, Teddy, you can sit on down. All right, no bottom
Well,
shame.
I can talk about the
Uh,
bottom's perspective.
yes, you can, darling. I was just messing with you. Um, I'm wondering, this is the writer here. They're wondering if you always slam your away at your bottom's ass super deep. They had a hookup that evening, and he just insisted on being as deep as possible in this person's ass.
Oh.
It definitely did not feel pleasurable, but
Mm.
he took the pounding and let him come. He finds that a lot of tops that they're with will want to be as balls deep as possible. And honestly, it hurts. It's like they want to slam away at the very back of your ass. Ugh. Just wondering if that's how the majority of tops like it out there. Feedback. Teddy, what are your thoughts?
Oh, oh, baby, baby, baby.
I know.
Well, first of all, you need a better tops in your life.
Amen.
Um, because yeah, the tops will want to go deep, and trust me, you want to go deep too, but you just have to give it time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's all about you know, uh, I top and I bottom, and I think
Mm-hmm.
when you're topping, there's a lot of privilege that come with it because most of what you're doing is pleasure from the top, from the beginning. I mean, um,
Oh, I was about to say.
from the beginning. I suppose that when you're
Not the way I
bottoming,
do it.
no, when you're bottoming, the beginning part can be like a little, painful. So you just have to relax and get your body, um, ready for it. And so I do feel bad for this Reddit person. Um, there's couple of bottoms that do like it like super rough from the beginning, but
Mhm.
I feel like those are not as prevalent as I just most of us that just need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
And get yourself a service stop. You know what a service stop is?
I am a service top, but go ahead,
Oh,
explain it for the
oh,
listeners.
she's a service top. Okay.
I have a name tag and everything. It says service top.
Why are you not wearing it right now?
On my other shirt. It's in the
uh,
laundry.
in the laundry. You already used it
Yeah,
this
so
week. um,
I met my quota for
So
this
a
week.
service top is somebody that will be topping you, but will cater to all of your needs. So basically, you will be kind of like more alpha in a way. Not necessarily you have to be aggressive about bottoming, but just that person will service your needs. And I think
Mhm.
that's what you need. And maybe you also can start with smaller tops, which, trust me, the fun is different, but it's equally pleasurable to be with a bigger or smaller guy if they know what they're doing. Trust me.
I love it. I love it. I agree with you. I think that as a top, you have a responsibility to pleasure the bottom. That's my goal when I'm
Hmm.
actually having sex with somebody,
Okay.
and it is not to hurt somebody, because once you are hurting someone and they let you know, because it's
Right.
also the bottom's responsibility to let that person know. And I
Hmm.
think that this person needs to be more vocal
Right.
about their needs and what is actually going on with their body. And I do think that when it comes to bottoming, the
Hmm.
more like, I'm not a bottoming professional, but from my experience,
Hmm.
the longer that you, or the more you do it, the better you become at it, basically.
Yeah.
And you can take bigger dicks, is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. Definitely. That's completely true.
But
Yeah.
work your way up there and don't do anything that you aren't comfortable with. And if I'm wrong, bottoms, please correct me.
No, I think you're right. I currently I'm mostly bottoming.
Mhm.
Publicly admitting that, which is
Hey,
okay. But
yeah, we don't shame
the
here. I mean, I did throw a little light shade, but that's our rapport.
our rapport, yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, that's in the comments talking about, ooh, the shade is real. But I love Teddy so much, and it's
Yeah,
all love, guys. So
yeah,
this is
definitely.
all in good fun.
But that definitely is true. Yeah, that's why I'm saying you might want to start with a smaller top, because if these tops are
That's great
huge,
advice.
then um you might not be at that level yet. And communicate. I am very good
Mm.
about, hey, um let's go slower. And if they want to go deeper, you're like, we're gonna get there, baby. Like, just like, communicate with your top is like, don't worry, we'll get there. I got you. I got you.
It's a
And
marathon, not a sprint.
because remember, when you're topping somebody, that person is inviting you inside of their body.
Oh, I just
So
got hot.
you just have to respect that you're not in your house anymore. You're inside somebody else's house. So
Okay, all
okay.
right.
Hey, Calidad.
I
Hey.
love that. I should I leave you guys alone? What is going on here?
Oh, the surprises lives gives.
Oh man, I love it. All right, so we're gonna move on to my favorite thing. Oh, Kelly that says his boyfriend is listening.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all right, be a third girl, be a third. I love it. And okay, so we're gonna move on to my favorite, which is Thirst Trap Recap. So,
Ooh.
our job is to descriptively describe uh, our favorite of these 24 gay porn stars, and the best photos or videos that they took that straight up gay porn has provided for us. So,
Mhm.
Teddy, have you decided which of these 24
I
is your
have.
favorite? Go ahead.
So
Tell us who it
this
is.
this time was a little different. There was like full on like scenes. Like it was like I had to do a lot of research today.
Uh,
But my favorite
Ain't
one,
nothing wrong with that.
my favorite one was actually the very last one, who is Luis Ricaute.
I knew you were going to pick
Really?
him.
Oh,
Yes.
so
He's actually number one.
he's number one right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you vote, he's number one.
awesome. So he is a very tall man. I'm assuming that he's Latino because he speaks a lot of Spanish in his videos. And
Well, you
um,
watch the videos?
Well, I'm doing my research for this podcast. I'm
You
a
are a
very well
wonderful special guest
prepared
host.
co-host.
You
Yeah.
are, darling. Thank you so much. I
I
appreciate
give
you.
Cody homework whenever he calls me. I'm like, watch this.
I had to
So,
watch the whole SAG Awards because of this
yeah.
bitch. Thank you so much.
He's a very tall man. He's uncut. Yum. And he
Good.
has his nipple pierced, has really cute tattoos, and he's mostly a top. Yum yum. Who's your
Yum
favorite?
yum. He is definitely yummy. But my vote goes to, because like you said, there is so many hot thirst traps on this. But my
Mm-hmm.
vote goes to Rex Lima, and he's just two above Luis Ricote. Is that how you say his last
Oh,
name?
I knew you were gonna pick that one. I
Joe said
so
this.
knew it.
Joe said the same thing. He was like, this is your favorite right here.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you guys are right. I'm very stereotypical. He is so hot. He's
Mm-hmm.
lying on a bed. He's on his side, but his ass is still in the air. He's looking
Yep.
at the camera and he's completely naked. And the thing that got me is that he
Mm-hmm.
has cum just leaking from his hole. And I thought, just sign me up for that tonight because baby, you better get ready, okay?
Yeah. He had a good time. I can tell that he had a
Ye-
good time.
oh yeah. Yes. So Rex Lima, thank you for the inspiration. I appreciate you. You are appreciated. And I did go to his Twitter as well, and he is very hot as well. So
Hey
I
Rex.
will
Hey
be
Rex.
lovely. So this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being my special guest host today, Teddy.
Thank you for having me. Yay.
Yes, yes, yes. And as always, you can just tell the people where they can follow you at, Teddy.
So you can follow me, go to my website, teddyrodriguez.com, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever you have, Twitter, YouTube. You can find me there.
Fabulous, fabulous. And you can follow the show at Tags Podcast. Follow me, I'm a life coach at KMD Coaching. And for some spicier content, Mr. Maurice, which is my personal account to match up the bodies. Thank you to our live audience and to those listening when this gets repackaged. And in the meantime, I didn't forget this time, continue
Continue
having
having hot,
hot,
gay
gay
sex.
sex. Yes.
Yes.